you're researching certain areas, and you just want to share that knowledge. Not like it's right, wrong, or you're looking for agreement. You're just actually saying, look guys, this is something I've been engaging in, and it's something I want to contribute to the group, to provoke thinking, to maybe get you to hear about an author or a discipline that you may not have been aware of. And you may go, you know, it's interesting, I'll go off and have my own adventure in that area. The other thing with the genius bit, there was something about, it kind of came out of the, you know, the Be Inspired Genius program. When we first started talking about genius, it's an odd thing, in our culture, to talk of oneself as a genius could sound, how could it sound?
Arrogant.
Arrogant. Or what else could it sound like? Pompous. Sorry, pompous. Cocky, like you know, because we don't really like other people to say they're, you know, I'm a genius. Imagine I'm a genius. I'm a genius. We've been probably standing in the corner of their own, like cocktails, right? So, for me to climatise this idea that there is something within us, and I assert it's innate. It was there when you were born. We see, who's been around children? Around any children lately, Tarek? Tarek's got 4 kids. No one going further. You know, and you see that, for me, I see it in my children, the genius is flowing out of them. They can't contain it within them. And I would say within our education system, we talk about things like ADHD and badly behaved children. And, well, because most of the time what you're teaching them is rubbish, it's boring, it's not relevant. What do you expect kids are going to do? They're sitting there, known geniuses, in their flow, few years out of the womb, and you're trying to get them to sit down, pay attention, shut up, do as you're told. Oh, by the way, you can go to the toilet now. You know? That's not, genius doesn't work that way. So there's something about flow that I've been thinking about and talking about. Quite a lot of the time, when Jill and I first started sharing, lost my flow there. When Jill and I first started talking about big collaboration, people really couldn't hear us. And we talk about what we're aiming to achieve and what we're gunning towards. People really couldn't hear us. People go, oh, this is really wishy-washy. It sounds really fuzzy and this and that. And I remember once we had this guy that first heard about BCon and came like 18 months later. And he said, this is amazing. You guys have progressed so much. You've done so much work. We said, really? He goes, this vision and mission is... I said, that's exactly the same vision and mission we had 2 years ago, 18 months ago. And what we're finding, the more we've been articulating genius and vision and context, the better we've got at probably articulating it. But I think it's not that hard for people to hear anymore. I think as much. In the world of attracting the right kind of people, is our tuning, you know, radio is set at a certain level of energy. Go back to Beiju's conversation, and I would say I really feel I'm at peace. I really feel I'm at peace in your model, but there's bits of my life that are definitely in grief and apathy. But overall, peace, and I can feel my power gaining momentum. Now, some of those things are knowledge-based and information-based. We live in the information age, and we're waiting for some bit of information to sort me out. If I only knew that one thing, or if I learnt that bit, or you know what, if Billy could really tell me how to lose weight and get fit, then once I know I can become fit or healthy. But that knowledge doesn't make a difference, does it? Because we live in the information age. There's a glut of information. There's nothing you can't get hold of now. You Google it, search it, find it. There'll be a video, a blog, there'll be a huge amount of information. But information doesn't make any difference. What's really important is context. Our context for life is what creates our experience. That's what we're talking about in the coaching session. So if the context is, oh, I can't do any more, it's all getting above, whatever the conversation is, that's the experience you'll get. So within the genius slot, what we've been thinking about is how do we connect to, draw off from that infinite supply of innate genius and operate from that. How would my life look? How would it feel? How would I walk? How would I talk? How would I engage with people? I promise you, this is a very different Beiju Solanke to the one I met 4 years ago. Very different. For me, I experience him differently. And that, I think, is a big, big deal in this community. So, welcome to what? Well, I'm going to give you a bit of background on Genius Slot. But I want you to consider, when we look out in our world, and we look at our horizons, and we look at what opportunities lay before us, what we want to achieve, whether it's making a difference to people's lives, whether it's empowering young people with entrepreneurship, health and fitness, which I know so much is very important, you know, bringing community to our town, connecting people, helping people welcome, you know, whatever your thing is how do you look at that area and then look at the horizon of it. There'll be a certain level of competency in the area, and you experience competency. Yes? Who here also experiences incompetence? Like you just don't get that bit right. Now put your hands up. No. Yeah? So we you know, I'm sorry.
I thought you just said incontinence.
Incontinence, yeah. Right there. So I've been doing a lot of thinking in the last, well, forever really, but in the last 6 weeks, we've had some big changes happening within B Collaboration internally. And I think it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. It's unsettling, it's changed things, but it kind of feels really true to what we're about. And one of the things is, we did have what we call a board. And within that board, we had a chairman. And as a limited company, having a board and a chairman is normal. But we've never been comfortable with that terminology, board and chairman. And it's never felt right. And I'm going to show you some things that kind of helped me go beyond that level. Although we didn't know it was right for us, we didn't really have anything substantial in its place. And recently, I've been doing a lot of research, and something I'll share with you in a minute. But one of the things we started to think about is, well, what about if we, rather than having a board and a chairman or chairperson, we start to create this concept of guiding lights. It's like we all have a light, we all have an inset or insight into certain subjects. Who here has got a specialist subject that they could spend a couple of hours briefing the rest of us on? You must have, right? You can put your hand up. I bet you have. Right, well you would go, well, you know what you said about service. You know, managing relationships, taking care of clients, listening to them. There's a whole other skill set, and you'd shed light on that area. Dave, you've got areas that you shed light. Now, the vision for me about bringing together guiding lights is no one's the boss. But if we get 12 guiding lights together and put those bright candles together, we get a light that illuminates a lot more than our individual areas, and that builds a synergy. And then those lights are indistinguishable. Say we were the guiding lights of B Collaboration, you could go, someone else could come in, you could go, someone else could come in. It's fluid and it's flexing and it's in flow. But human beings, we struggle with that, don't we? To be that flexible, that flowy, would you say? Alright, I'll test you. Who could be like that with their staff? Well, come in when you want, John. It's fine, we're in flow. What would it take to create self-organising communities where everybody gets into action in the area that best suits them, where they make the biggest difference? But as a guiding light, you'd bring a specific, unique perspective that contributes to the overall enlightenment of our community. So in the process of doing this, we're also in the process of changing the formal structure of B Collaboration from a limited company into something new. It could be a kick, it might be a socially benevolent society, it may, we don't know. We're going through some research on what would be the best model to go with. Yeah? So we're transitioning from an old school model that says, when I set it up limited company 3.5 years ago, with a notion of a board and a chairperson, and me as, I suppose, and she was the bosses of B Collaboration. But we've never liked that terminology. I don't want to be any higher than Simon. Because in his known area of expert specialist knowledge, in his light that he brings to the table of digital, how can I be in charge of him? He doesn't work for me, I don't pay him to work for me. We're putting our resources and our skill sets and our passions together to make something that we couldn't do on our own. Make sense? They said, we're doing work for free. I'll challenge that, we're not. We're investing in something that's going to be really valuable in the future. Even that language I would challenge. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, would you? Yeah? But in certain paradigms, I'm doing work for free. Other paradigms says, no, we're investing in creating something unique that you want to be part of the journey. I'll put your hand up if you were asked to join B Collaboration. No one?
Say that again.
if you were asked to join Be Collaboration? No. No one asked you. Jill said at the beginning of the introduction, she said, we're not going to ask you to join. We mean it. Stefan? I haven't got a name tag. Darryl? Darren. Linda? Manish. I really can't read that. We're not going to ask you. Because if this doesn't inspire you, you don't want to be close to the fire and get involved, that's fine. You're a big boy, you're a big girl, you're an adult, you can work it out. Is this something you want to meet up and challenge yourself, grow yourself, be around other people who are doing the same, inspire you and draw you, or not? It doesn't, it's fine. No one's going to go, you know, we're not going to do that. We're going to treat you like an adult. We trust you to do what's right for you. So some of those things have come from a context. In our vision and mission statement, we say our approach is dynamic, distinctive and creative. We are always on the lookout for what is just beyond the horizon. We embrace transformation and are instrumental in implementing the very best there is anywhere in the world. Look at what Beiju shared today. Look at what I'm sharing today. And this is happening at the moment 6 times, well, in October, it's 6 times a month. People, bigger, smaller groups are coming together, adults, grown up, to have chosen to be playing a part in something that's going to make a difference, and it's going to excel them, grow them, connect them, challenge them, inspire them for something bigger than just their current survival, maybe survival, finding my why, making a living. Who here has tried to juxtapose or tried to pull together a desire to make a difference, make a living, be yourself, and all the roles we play? It's a challenge, right? Everyone I know. And for me, one of the things Colin asked me earlier, I said, why did you set up Big Collaboration? I said, because I wanted to make a difference en masse. And I wanted to be able to make a living without having to give up. And Buckminster Fuller, who I'm going to quote later on, said something like, you are going to make money. I mean, when he says money, he means loads of money, or you're going to make a difference. The two aren't really, you know, you see these billionaires, they become billionaires, they set up foundations, Clinton Foundation, Bill Gates, Zuckerberg. That's not making a difference, and I'm not going to go into that now. But you either make your life about making a difference or about making money. And I think making a difference is I'm going to make a case for making a difference is not only desirable, but it's actually a matter of survival for the human species. That's where I'm at with it. Now, I'm not expecting you to go, yeah, I agree with Erkan, that's what it's about. But I'm saying that is the way I'm thinking about it in terms of big collaboration and our lifetime. What do we say, Jill? We're lifers, aren't we? Sangeeta asked me, where in 5 years do you want your life to be and what are your goals? I said, we don't get out alive. I'm not getting out alive. This is too big a project for me, Jill, and our accomplices and our founding members to get the job done in a lifetime. It's too big a job. We're going to build it to a point, develop it to a point, and then hand it over. Imagine. Now, on one level, that could make you feel really kind of insignificant. On another level, to quote Marcus Aurelius, what we do now, what we do in life, echoes in eternity. What we do now, what we do in life, echoes in eternity. Now, our socialising system tells me that what I've learned from is you can't make a difference. And going back to apathy, then it's kind of like, well, someone said in the last meeting we had discussed it, well, how are you going to alter the banking system? How are you going to alter the banking system on your own? I said, I can't do it on my own. I can't impact the education system on my own. But I've got people who are committed to making a difference to education. Our kids are in education right now. Most of the time, it makes me feel ill. But I haven't got a better plan right now. I'm not going to take them out of school. That current education model makes me feel ill. That's where I'm at. You can agree, disagree. That's fine. But you may well, if you disagree, come and ask me why. You may be surprised. So, developing a way of being that looks at the horizon as an opportunity. As those things that are beyond our grasp, our understanding, our ability to deliver, are not things we have to go back and go, oh, I can't make a difference, I can't do it. It's actually, that is the impetus to make the difference. What's beyond the horizon? Yes? Who's stuck? Keep it. Don't air it yet, just stay with it, right? So in my adventure and in my experience, I started to look at different models. One of the models that I've been working with since before I met Jill was this idea of spiral dynamics. Anyone heard of spiral dynamics? Right. It's very rare. You know, in the old days, you say spiral dynamics, there's nobody in the room, right? It's quite academic. It's the work of Claire Graves. He died a while back, and it was taken over by Don Beck, and Don Beck basically has been, well, he's done a great job of popularising it. So essentially, there's this kind of spiral of human consciousness. And he talks about memes. Memes are units of cultural value, yes? So there's certain ways we behave, we're influenced by our societal and cultural memes. Does that make sense? And the school and education system is an interesting one. So at the bottom, right of the, and also they talk about this in the evolution of the human species. In the evolution, like they talk about 70,000 years ago, as a species, that's where we were. But also when we're born, we're there. Babies are at this level of what we call, hold on, almost forgot. Can you, please? My printer stopped printing at one point, so I don't know if I've got enough for everyone. If you could, yeah, if we pass that around. So these are the spiral layers, they're colour coded. So the first layer is instinctive and survivalistic. It's about survival. How many people do you see going to business networking meetings because they have to do it to get business? How many have we done that? Who's gone to business networking in the survival state? You ever been there? No? But yes, people go to networking business referral meetings so they can get some business, and they go around giving their cards and they're in that survivalistic mode. Or they're operating within survivalistic. So survivalistic is very kind of, there's a lot of scarcity in the survivalistic because you've got to get what you can to survive. The next layer is magical and animalistic. It's also it's tribal. It's where we start to connect with other groups. Really? Okay. So and then the one after that is red, which is impulsive, ecosystem. A lot of teenagers are in that layer where they're trying to break free of control. It's where the kings are, the marauding kings, and all that kind of stuff. The blue layer is authoritarian and purposeful. Put off today for tomorrow's benefit. Authority. School, church. Religion's very much in that area. Nationalism, be patriotic, do what's best for your country. It's very much that patriot. Anyone notice patriotism at the moment in America and in England at the moment? With all this, you know, with all this immigrations and Brexit, it's all getting stirred up, right? Orange layer is achievist and strategic. It's very much in the vein of success, entrepreneurship, corporations, the bank, you know, money system. And if you look at that last 60, 70 years, the way that's exploded since the Second World War, and money supply has changed the way we operate and the way we think. Now, the one above that is green, and green is egalitarian, and it's more about, it's kind of your hippie movements. It's kind of starting to understand, hey, we're all connected, we're all on one planet. You know, McClure talks about spaceship Earth, and we're all part of a whole. They're still very much from the individual's point of view. And the way these spirals go, they go me, we, me, we, me, we, me, 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 we. They kind of go like that. And if there's a book called Pendulum that explains that. These are all first tier. And a lot of what goes on in first tier is about who's going to impact whom to do what. You're a boss. You've got to impact your team to do something, yes? A lot of this is that way. Now, we've been conditioned in that layer that someone's got to be in charge, tell everyone else what to do, and someone knows what's going to go on and they're the ones in charge. If we start going free flow and making up as we go along, what do you think that does for people?
Threatens them,
Hey?
Threatens them.
Yeah, it's like, well, hold on a minute, who's in charge? What are we going to do? Who's going to be... No, this is free. We're working towards self-organising. It's a very different layer. So when you go second tier, right, second tier and turquoise is what I want to talk to you about. Second tier really starts to have an understanding that there's all these other layers and starting to engage with people with where they're at. Right? Second tier is very much, yellow is very much me. Teal, I'm going to go into in a minute. That's that outset. So I want to talk specifically about yellow and turquoise. So in yellow, there's natural systems, self-principle, multiple realities and knowledge. It's a kind of another level of wisdom and consciousness. And the top one is cultural manifestations and personal displays. And it's kind of collection of individualistic and cosmic spirituality. In other words, we experience ourselves as an individual and part of the whole. And earlier on in our coaching session, I talked about how you are the drop in the ocean and you are the ocean. But our conditioning is very much left-brain conditioned in the West. We're taught to fear, we're taught scarcity and competition. Think about schools, think about exams, think about going for a job, think about business. Business is tough. Got to do what we've got to do. Hey?
Think about ISIS.
Yeah, think about, yeah, exactly.
I saw something the other day about how many people are actually killed in America by guns or terrorists.
I saw that.
And there's like 30 people. There's 2 people killed by
Muslim extremists.
Muslim extremists.
And those killed by Americans was 100 and like...
Yeah, 5,000.
5,000 so shooting by Americans.
But this is really interesting, guys. If you start to look and view the world through these means, through these levels, it's really interesting how we're being influenced and when. I haven't got time to go through all that today. So is this interesting? Listen, this is very academic as well, so if you want to go and who are the academic ones, and I'm reading loads of there's loads of it out there, there's some really good videos as well. Anyway, so I want to show you this video. I'm going to fast forward to the last 5 minutes.
Spiral model is the central model for spiral dynamics, and because of actually the real crisis that the world is in. So you could also see that self-satisfaction as as narcissism. That the green meme, which has given every human being their place in the sun, has also led to a kind of affirmation of the human being, and we can't stop with the kind of narcissism that has basically led to. So that's the downside of that individualism, is the narcissism. So where we're at now, is as a global culture now. I mean, basically we're all interconnected, and we can see that the complexity and the tremendous conflict and environmental degradation. I mean, there's so many problems that the human race is confronted with that it's clear that we need, a next order, a higher order of thinking and understanding. And spiral dynamics proposes that it's the theory itself which can be a very helpful tool in actually creating, the next move, the next leap, as they say, to a higher level of thinking and perceiving.
And now the great leap in the second tier. I am convinced, after being where I've been over the last few years, I'm convinced it's now possible, seriously now possible, to provide the kinds of answers so many people are now searching for, and do so in a practical, caring, reality-based, on-the-ground manner. For that to occur, then, we have to combine the thinking modalities in these 2 means. What occurs in the first 6 systems are steady states. What occurs in second-tier systems in yellow is flow. Flow meaning one is not taught one single spiritual message and outcome. One is taught transformational spirituality, realizing that each plateau is reached is a prelude to the next and to the next in this never-ending quest of ours. So yellow integrates and flows. Express self is a long-color system, but never at the expense of others or the earth, so that all life, not just my life, may continue in the most natural, fitting ways. Now one expresses self in this area, not like red expression of self, not like orange expression of self, but a different in yellow expression of individuality. second tier. Sacrifice interests of self, see that in turquoise? And others as necessary. Why? So as to reach balance and harmony among humans, the planet, and generations to come. Why? For the survival of life itself. Not for a cause, not for an ism, not for a belief, but for life itself. So we have in yellow life flow, and we have in turquoise life preservation. And the two fit together. And the key in second tier is the meshwork of the individual and the collective, where ends the war between them, because it facilitates the movement between them on the part of individual and groupings. So rather than a static model of who influences whom to do what, this kind of yellow turquoise entity is able to form task force teams where people quickly join in to assume roles necessary, and then when the task is over, they disband. So you become part not of a single community with assigned roles, but part of a flexible flow based upon tasks to be performed. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? So I wish for you an integral commons and a holistic meshworks. You say, fine, give us the rule book and the guidebook for these kind of communities. I say, go write it yourself.
That's worth a little clap, that is, isn't it? So we're writing that. We're unraveling that. You could use the word destined or resolve. You know, you didn't show up, Dave, Calder, or here because you were just looking for some more business and looking to survive. Yes? Am I putting words in your mouth?
No. I don't know whether you look for years or no, but no, I didn't.
But somewhere we have a duty and accountability for the generations to come, and within that we have our own aspirations, our own individualism, our careers, our aspirations to be who we are in our own right, and have a view to the bigger picture. They're not exclusive. In BCOL, my aim is that we get to express that and create a common understanding of that becomes part of our culture. That people come into this community through being inspired, through knowledge share, through support. Jill said, I'm writing the history of BCOL to this day, I want your support. How many things would you do, would you achieve if there was a community around you to support you, push you, pull you, go with you? And that's what we're building. And it's not hierarchical. I'm not in charge. I promise you Jill's not in charge. Well, she's in charge. But we're not, there's no one person in charge. So the structure of our organisation is changing to guiding lights, that people can come and go. You know, we talked about task force flow. Maybe there's an opportunity, a contract, a commercial opportunity comes up, a philanthropical opportunity, a chance to speak at Wannabe and make a difference to 200 young people, and then maybe around the country. And whatever you're up to, I promise you, within this context, within this environment, we're all excelling together. That's the important. It's that flow of individual and social responsibility. So I'm going to pass this around in a bit, but really we're going from traditional teams of project manager, team, boss, I'm in charge, to actually agile teams, which are about servant leader, facilitating, self-organising. Something we really need to know more about, especially if you want to be at the cutting edge. You know, you could notice your ego saying, how are you going to keep the team going if you're not in charge? Well, it's a different paradigm.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm not very good at being told what to do. So to meet with a group of people and to be given support and advice, and you can kind of take the best bits, and then somebody will go, well, no, I'll do that bit, and you come across a brilliant idea together. To me, that is just, well, that's what we should all be doing. It just feels more natural. When somebody comes along with, oh no, you don't do it that way, you do it that way, I'm like, why? It doesn't feel natural to me. So what Erkan is describing as these guiding lights and people coming and going, and it just seems the proper, in my head, is the proper way to do things. And it's not right and it's not wrong, but for me, it's good. I was saying to you guys earlier that I used to work, who was I talking to, in the local government, and I was always in an argument, and I was always somebody telling me, no, that's not right, that's not right, that's not right, and you can't please all the people all the time. Well, why not? Why can't you do that? There must be a way of being able to sort things out. There's always a solution. So if you've got very clever people coming together that can work together, not on a I'm right, you're wrong basis, but on a let's find a solution that's right for where we are now, today. It might not be the right solution a year, 5 years' time, but for now, this is what we need to do. And I feel like I've had a space and a piece of that decision-making process, and no one's being an authority over me, because we're all human beings first.
Thank you.
Okay.
You felt
Anything else you
compelled.
wanted to
Have I
say?
finished?
Well, you have actually.
No, I've got one more.
She's in charge.
So to quote, Buckminster Fuller, my vision is to make the world work for 100% of humanity in the shortest possible time through spontaneous cooperation without ecological offence or the disadvantage of anyone. And that's a thought I'd like to leave you with today. If you want to know more about that, please come and see me. Thank you very much. This is my genius for today. Thank you.
And on that note, would you please turn to the person next to you and just, each of you, one thing that you're taking away from what you've got today. Just one small thing.